Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a beginning of the month for February, or March, sorry, tarot oracle reading. And Scorpio, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Scorpios, we still all have a little bit of Scorpio in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Scorpio in, that's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Keep in mind, this is a general or collective reading. Parts may or may not resonate. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on back then in your life, that could give further clarity to you now. All right, we're going to begin with the underlying energy. Yay, we have someone wants to get married. This is the official marriage card of the tarot. And so this card is saying that it's the beginning of fulfillment. That you basically, you have the down payment for your castle, but you still have to make the mortgage payments. And, you know, you've popped the question, or someone popped the question, and the answer is yes. So now you're planning the wedding, but then you're still going to need to put work into the relationship. A lot of people focus on the wedding and not the marriage. So let's see, that is the underlying energy for the entire reading. And for the internal forces, we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is sitting on his throne, and he's out in the middle of all this chaotic water here. Water in the tarot, especially rough water like this, represents volatile emotion. And maybe they're chaotic energy. So the king, though, he's totally chilled out, sitting out in the middle of the water here, sitting on his throne, ready to offer a cup of love. But he is the most emotionally available of all the kings, meaning he has a lot of emotional intelligence. And so he understands that now is not the right time in all this chaos to pop the question. So he's waiting until the time is ripe. And then he will, his right foot is forward, so he's ready. He has made up his mind. He just is waiting for the opportune time to deliver his cup of love. Now, the cups in the tarot represent the energy of love, like romantic love, but it could also be love for, you know, someone else, as well as a love of being or doing something. But with this marriage card and the King of Cups coming in like this, I feel like this is, you know, speaking of more of a romantic love. And this is the underlying energy for the internal forces. Internal forces are what you have control about. It's what's coming from inside of you. And so the energy, it would be, if you're, you know, up at night and you can't sleep, the question you would be asking is if. What if this happens? What if they do that? What if I do this? What if, what if, that kind of energy. Look at this. There's a soulmate energy coming in. So this definitely is about love. And so this is saying, Scorpio, that this could be you in this King of Cups energy, or it could be that a King of Cups is in this energy about you. But this is talking, the Two of Cups is saying that this is someone who is your soulmate. And soulmates mean that there's like, you know, we have our physical needs in the 3D world, and, you know, our mental and emotional, but your soul also has spiritual needs. And so this is generally like a soul connection where there could have been a contract basically between the two souls that they would meet at some time and empower each other. And quite often this is, it doesn't have to be a romantic love, but it usually is. And this energy is talking about, you know, if you're balanced in your masculine and your feminine energies, that's when you're more likely to bump into or meet or somehow engage with your soulmate, because they will also be balanced in their masculine and feminine energies. And at that point, it's not like you're getting together because you need masculine energy in your life or you need feminine energy in your life. It's because you're balanced in it and you want the connection. And it's kind of like, okay, like really wanting to have a real strong connection with someone that will uplift both of you so that you can be here and get your life purpose done together. And this Hermes signal represents the planet of Mercury, and it's about having communication, like really strong communication in between. And this also is talking about communication with your higher self, and what I call the HSN, the higher self network, which is very similar to the internet. But the difference is that when you're on the internet, you know when you're on the internet. And when you're on the higher self network 24/7, you just maybe don't even realize you are. But it's a form of being able to communicate through the ethers, basically, through your intuition. And so this energy is coming in the internal forces here. We have the King of Swords coming in. So the King of Swords would be more logical than intuitive. Having said that, the sword is double-edged, so it can be both. The King of Swords would be a professional person that is very intelligent and uses their mental intelligence, their discipline of their mind, and the words and the thoughts that they speak, like so words and written words basically, to earn their living. So this would be someone who is professional in some sort of capacity where it's more of a mental than a physical work. And this quite often can represent lawyers. It can, in the judicial system, it can be judges, lawyers. If it's a lawyer, it would be someone that is high up, someone that is already a partner in a large firm. And the energy would also can be politicians who use their words to earn their living. That could be a president, a prime minister, someone else like at the top running the country. It could be ministers in the federal government and Congress people and senators, that kind of energy. Some people that have pull. And it could be an influencer on social media, someone who speaks for a living, that kind of energy. And it also can represent surgeons, like a real well-known surgeon that's really well-known for being an expert in their field. This is talking about walking away from a relationship or a situation that you love. And so there's 8 cups here. In the tarot, there's only 10 cups. So 8 is like a lot of effort having been put into something, but now you're making the decision that you're walking away. And this sometimes can represent a divorce lawyer. So this is starting off saying there's a strong possibility of commitment and marriage and love if you want it. We've got all that energy here. Then we have, and with your soulmate, which is awesome. But then we get into this energy. Okay, what's this about? You might already be in a partnership that you need to get out of. That kind of energy. So we'll see. This is 8 cups. As I said, it's quite a lot of energy that you've put into something. And this is saying, I'm walking away because it's not suiting me. And so this has to be something that happened that was, kind of ground shaking kind of energy, because after putting 8 cups into something, it's like, why would you walk away now? Sometimes it can mean you're going for the other 2 cups and then you plan to come back. But generally, this is kind of like a division. And sometimes like this can be like a divorce lawyer. So we don't know for sure yet. We're just going to keep going. This is, though, speaking about the energy that we have right now astrologically with the moons. And so we just had a new moon on the 17th. And that new moon on the 17th was also Chinese New Year. We moved into the fiery horse energy from the year of the snake. We had an Aquarius new moon, and we had also had an eclipse. And so the eclipse was a solar eclipse, which means that for a short time the sun was blocked from view from Earth by the moon. And this is talking, when eclipses happen, it generally does cause quite a significant changes in our lives, and we're seeing that being played out on the global scene for sure right now, like with the files dropping, in particular for the in England. There's a lot happening there with the monarchy, and we had the former prince arrested a few days ago, and it's just like a domino effect now. They just arrested I think it was the ambassador to the U.S. Embassy or something like that. It was, I couldn't even watch anymore. I was like, whatever. What else is going to happen? Like, do we have, like, and every day it's like, oh, there's another person, another situation, and it's like quite overwhelming. And that's the eclipse energy, like a profound change that's happening. And it can happen over a period of about 6 months that it has an effect on us. And the thing is so we had the Chinese New Year, about the new, we had Aquarius energy, which is about, you know, what about's happening to the group. And that was opposed by the Leo energy, because Leo, the sun was in Leo, shining light on the situation. And that was like, Leo energy is more like, yeah, to heck with the group. I need to, if I'm going to be a leader, I need to be strong within myself. I need some time for myself right now. And then I'll get back to the group. So it's this kind of back and forth energy, plus then we have the eclipse on top of that. So this energy right now, it's not a good time for impulsive behavior. It's not a good time to be get really into your emotions and flip out over things, or get really upset about things that are, you know, not worth, it's just not worth getting that worked up over. And to make really, it's a great time to make plans, to get organized, to put your ducks in order, you know, do a little bit of early spring cleaning kind of energy, get organized, so that if some significant change happens at the next eclipse, which is going to be on March 3rd, that you're going to be ready for that energy. On March 3rd, we are going to have the full moon. And the full moon is in the sign of Virgo, opposed by the sun will be in Pisces. And so this energy with the full moon in Virgo is saying, you know, Virgo likes to have their personal environment in particular, or their work environment, very well organized, cleaned up. It's income tax season. You know, now would be a really good time to get your income tax papers in order, get your you know, get your business papers all in order, your personal information, get everything done as best you can, and clean up your house. And, you know, if take out the trash, basically get moving and clean up as much as you can, in case you want to make a move, that you will be ready for it. We also have, so the Virgo energy is asking you to do that. And if you do that, it supports your everything else you do. Like if you're in a real cluttered, messy environment, it can cause, like, it clutters your mind, and it makes it way more challenging to make strong choices. So it's just saying this is a great time to sort of reserve your judgment and just wait and see what happens, but keep an eye on what is going on. Don't hide from the energy, but at the same time, you don't have, it's really a bad time to be impulsive. If you want to know more about how this energy affects you, I have a new moon, full moon playlist, and I have the last new moon on there for each sign, and I will be doing a reading right after this. After I complete for everybody here, I will be doing a bonus full moon reading for that, and it will be on that list. So you can, that'll be probably out in about 4 or 5 days from now. So this energy, yeah, it's a really good time for going inward, learning from your mistakes, understanding, oh, that's what went wrong, that kind of energy. And we'll see now, like, this decision to walk away has been made, though, already. I don't know if I mentioned that Mercury is also going into retrograde. And so Mercury is a planet of communication, and it also represents this energy here of the knowing. And so Mercury is the past revisited, basically. Like when Mercury is in retrograde, communication can really go off kilter. And it's not really the best time to start new projects, but it's a good time to make the plans for projects and also revisit the past. And quite often that means people from your past will start showing up, people you haven't seen for a long time. And maybe some of them you are happy to see, and some you're like, I didn't see you for a reason. So, just be aware of that there's the past coming back. Is an energy so that you can clean up anything that is unresolved. And then again, when that new energy comes in, you'll be more ready for it. we do have, like now, it's interesting, after you walk away here, then comes in an offer, and this is the knight in shining armor. This is the one that we read about in romance novels and see in the movies, dressed to the nines, all shiny. His horse is calm. This is maybe saying that, like, this is a decision that he's been making for quite some time. This could be the King of Cups sending the knight in to offer, this is talking about some form of communication coming in, and it's about love. And so quite often this can be a proposal of marriage, or it could be, something along that lines of a commitment of some sort. And it's talking about someone that has, thought it out. And like the King of Cups is the most emotionally available because he's the most in control of his emotions. And so that's, and the most stable out of all the love. Now the King of Swords, I feel like on some level, if you're walking away from something, this could mean that's, whatever you're in right now, you need to walk away from it to be able to have this new relationship coming in. So it's saying make that decision if that's what you're going to do. This is very similar to Libra's reading, and actually quite a few of them. This energy is talking about that, cleaning up whatever is not working for you and moving forward with that energy. And hey, I shuffled the cards because I'm tired of seeing this card coming up. But here it is again. I was like, okay, this reading, I'm going to shuffle the cards. And a few, some of these cards have been coming up in the readings regularly. And it doesn't matter how much you shuffle. This bugger here. So this is talking about clearly some sort of heartbreak, and I think it has to do with this energy here. And we were talking lawyers in that. Quite often this can talk about a divorce lawyer. So maybe you've hired, maybe you're in the middle of a divorce or just ending one or whatever, you're walking away, and this other energy is coming in, lickety split, has had their eye on you for quite some time, waiting for all this chaos to be finished. And so this is talking generally, like this is definitely like a heartbreaking decision. When you first see it, it's like, oh no, like there's 3 swords, like this person isn't going to survive. But when you look, the heart is actually bigger than it should be for the size of the swords. So this is saying that these are more like pinpricks or like nails kind of energy. So it is something that you could recover from. It's not like it's painful. But quite often this will mean that there's a 3rd sword driven in between a couple. So this is generally, there's been some sort of infidelity in the relationship, some sort of energy like that, and a heartbreaking decision needs to be made. There can be a lot of gossip happening about it. There could be a lot of misinformation going around, with the gossip, that kind of energy. This can represent not feeling like you're safe to really say what you want to say and how you really feel. It's having like almost your heart in your throat energy. And it's time to isolate then, to make strong decisions. So if you just went through a breakup and this is representing like a relationship that was, you've had for a while now. Like 8 cups of energy is like, could be like 8 years or so, that kind of energy. And so it's a big decision to walk away. This could be like you already did this and now maybe you're waiting for the papers to come through. Because this quite often, as I said, can represent a divorce lawyer. And this is talking about healing and forgiveness. And so sometimes the forgiveness for sure has to come from you at first for whatever happened in this relationship and the sadness of it ending. Like if it was a marriage and you said, I'm going to love you forever no matter what, and then you're in this energy here. It's talking about, but there's no cards of regret here. It's more about I need to move forward and get my life back together kind of energy. And I feel like this is after the dark night of the soul. The Hermit represents someone who's been through something very difficult. And they know I need to go isolate myself so I can just heal a little bit and like just get my shift together. And so they climb the mountain, and when their lantern is full of the light of the North Star is your guiding light for your divine journey, what you were put on this earth for. When you have that clarity, you come down from the mountain and you execute it. And this golden rod is saying, maybe it's time to come down out of isolation. This king has his eye on you. You know, you've already gone through this. You've done as much healing as you can do. You've practiced forgiveness. You know, you've kind of studied the situation to see what you could do better now, and it's time to move forward. And this is talking about moving forward once you have all the evidence and all the facts are in, and you know what you know, like, you know, okay, I'm ready for this. And because otherwise, and this card is actually saying that you have done that work, that this is talking about healing, and that your masculine and your feminine energy are balanced. So if your masculine and feminine energy are balanced, and you're not so much looking for a partner to heal your wounds, or to you know, like you need some masculine energy in your life, or you need some feminine energy in your life. You have that within yourself, and you're well balanced. What you're looking for is a companion, someone that you can enjoy. That kind of, it's not a need, it's more a want, but your soul needs it. Your soul is craving it, to get together with this other soul. And so this is how you see yourself right now, as being ready for your soulmate. And maybe you've already met them and you're in this process, or you know, past, present, future. Different, I'm reading for more than one person here, of course, so it's going to be kind of, you have to use your intuition here and see if this reading is about what your situation, if you're headed this way, or you're here now, or you can see this coming up in the future, and you're, you know, whatever part of this energy is working for you. This is your abundance and self-worth. It's saying, I need to separate myself from this energy because it's not working for me, and I don't see myself being happy ever in this situation again. I'm walking away. Or the other person your partner has said that, I'm walking away, this is not working for me. And then this is talking about communication from your early life. And I feel like maybe when you were younger, there could have been a situation where your parents separated and got divorced or something. And this is something you said you'd never do. And so it's really bothering you because it's in that communication from your early life. And maybe that was like the pattern that your parents had, is have a big fight, and then one storms off and walks away and doesn't show up for 2 or 3 days, or maybe 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And then, you know, they do it again. You know, it's a roller coaster. This is the home and family emotional foundation. Like, this is saying that you want to be with someone that is steady, like this king here, that can handle like all the chaos and that, and still stay in the center, in the eye of the storm, and, you know, be someone you can count on, and not have to always wonder, are they going to walk out the door at this slightest problem. And then we have the creativity, romance, and children. And I feel like that might be part of, you might have children that are affected by this decision. And that's that energy of the new moon, where you know you need to do this for yourself, but you're really concerned, how is this going to affect my children? How is this going to affect their lives? You know, what if we have to move out of the house we're in, out of the neighborhood, and then they have to start in a new school, and all of that kind of energy that goes through your mind when you have children. And then we have this energy here of your daily routine and your habits. So I feel like you've gone really kind of quiet, and you've gone inward, and you've been like really kind of keeping to yourself more so that you can heal from this energy, which is a really good thing to do. It's talking now, it may be time to come out of isolation and start putting things into order. And I feel like when we're in the eclipse season, the eclipse coming up, the moon coming up on March the 3rd, is going to be in the sign of Virgo, and that's about, okay, get your shift together, get everything organized. Virgo wants everything clean, everything in order. And so get that done. And by the time that the full moon hits on the 3rd, and you'll be in a good position to move forward and be feeling really, I feel like there'll be a lot more light shed on the situation, and you'll have a lot better idea of you know, where to go, how to go, and that your work that you've put into this will start, you'll start seeing it. The thing is about eclipse seasons is that they do cause significant change in our life but it's over an extended period of time. It can be up to about 6 months and even longer, but the energy is hyper focused on the weakest area in your life, the one that's causing the most weakness in your life, the most problems. And so recognize that when you're in this kind of energy, you're hyper focused on one area, and that you might not be seeing the whole big picture, like of how the other people in the family feel and all of that kind of energy. And that's why there's going to be, with this second eclipse on March 3rd, there's going to be this more energy of more clarity coming in. We have the Mercury going in retrograde on the 26th of February till the 20th. And so communication can be a little bit blurred. And so that's why it's just really a good time to do what you're doing. Take it day by day and, you know, heal. And so that when you're ready, because I feel like you're ready for this. This is what you've always wanted. And maybe, you know, sometimes like this, the divorce process can take years, right? And so maybe you've been at it and now it's finally like, yay, now I finally can, I'm free to do what I want to do. Yes, wanting to move from the rough waters into calmer waters. And so this can represent like conferring again at the top of the mountain with God, and then, okay, now I know what to do. My rod is golden. I'm moving forward. And you see this pole here. This represents like this person has to get this boat moving. They have to dig really deep, like deep into the mud to move the boat forward. And this represents someone who, you know, this could be this child. There's no baggage here. And this can represent your inner child and healing that energy from when you were younger, of how you approach love and romance and how you approach life in general, and making changes that are going to be beneficial for you, and moving on to calmer waters here. And then the king is waiting for you when you're in that space. That's that's the energy I'm picking up. So we're going to see, these are the external forces. So the external forces, you don't really have control over that. You can't control the economy of the country unless, of course, even if you're the president, you can't. You can try, but you can't. You know, you don't have ultimate control. And you can't control what people say or do, but you can control whether you react to it or you respond to it. And that's like, the calmer you are, the better right now. This energy is really supporting, like going inward, really looking at, okay, what can I do differently? How, you know, really doing your research so that when you make the move, it's been as well thought out as possible, and that you, you know, you're ready. You're not scrambling. You're not rushing to do things. Yeah, putting the work in. And this can also represent like the pentacles are representing health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. And of course, a big part of that is money. And this card is representing actually making money, because this is the only card in the deck where the person is actually working on the coin itself. So it's like actually hammering out the coin. If we all could only just do that. And you know, that's how you make money. But this energy is talking about, you may have started a project just recently, and you have you're on the second pentacle and you have 6 to go. Or you've been working on this and you've been very focused and you've already completed 6 and you've got the 7th almost done and only 1 more. And then you'll be ready to move forward into this energy. So, and this is, I feel that this is, you know, when we have all this energy, if this is a divorce or separation kind of energy, this is like you've been working hard to get the money together to be able to make the move. And because this is about your partnerships, your commitments, and your marriage. So if you're leaving it, it's about like, okay, do I have enough money to leave? How am I going to support myself? you know, like where are we going to go, that kind of energy. Yeah, you don't want to be left out in the cold. And so this energy, you might have felt like you were left out in the cold. And maybe now your soulmate has come in sometime at this point, and you've been, because of all your hard work, now you've attracted someone that actually is going to be a stable person in your life, and it's bringing you out of the cold. That's the energy I'm feeling, because this is in your position of transition, and this is like being left out in the cold, feeling like you don't belong, feeling like you know, nobody cares kind of energy. And these two people are getting together though, and they are, this one has no shoes, this one has is on crutches and has a bell, like the plague, around their neck. And so it's talking about they're in a, there's probably been tactics used to put them here in many ways, but they're in a position now where they're doing their best to collaborate and move forward. And so you could even be in a position where quite often soulmates go through similar circumstances but separate from each other, different people, different players, but the same type of energy. It can be at, you know, exaggerated levels in comparison. But so this is about, I feel that this is the energy that you felt you've been in. That represents kind of this dark night of the soul energy. And this is a position of transition. So it's talking about, okay, we're going to move out. And actually this is the Scorpio energy right here. So it's talking about really reclaiming yourself and, okay, I'm going to get out from isolation and I'm ready to move forward now. Yeah, the chariot is turning. So this is saying, okay, it's on its way on the spiritual realm, and it's coming into your life now. So this, because you've put all this work in, and you've gone inward, and you've really figured out, okay, what can I do differently? How can I move forward? This is the perfect energy. And this is also saying the eclipse, the darkness of the eclipse is over. And it's, you know, you can't stay up in the mountain forever in isolation. Eventually you have to come back down again. And I feel like the work that you've done on yourself is worth it. And maybe just really being in a position where you've just been really focused on work so that you can have a solid foundation for this new beginning. And then we have, yeah, the wounded warrior. You're tired. This is an energy of, okay, you've got all these wands to land, all these actions, like you've put the work in, and I feel like you're almost on the 8th one here, because you're leaning on the 9th action, and the 9th action is like, you know, your head's bandaged, you probably have had a headache or two along the way. This is representing it's been a lot of work, a lot of inner work, and like actual physical work. I feel like you've been really working hard to be able to put yourself in a position that you can move forward like this. And then we have the magician, an energetic upgrade. Thank goodness, this is what is needed. So this is talking about the magician energy when the Fool begins a new journey, and I feel like that's what this is representing. This energy that you've been in is over, and now this new energy can come in, and it's already on its way from the spiritual realm, saying that your soul is saying, hey, I have a perfect plan now that you're listening. Do you want to get out of this energy? Let's have an energetic upgrade here. And this is, so when the Fool starts a new journey, that's on their destined path, and that's what this represents. It's saying, hey, you're on your the path that you were supposed to be on in this life. Then all of this other energy can fall into place, and it's an energetic upgrade. So as above, so below, and as below, so above, basically. This is saying the magician is the first card that the Fool comes. The Fool starts at the 0 point when they're starting a new cycle in the major arcana. The first card they come across is the magician. And this is saying you have the tools that you need. They're on the bench here to create a beautiful garden in your life. And it's already in the spiritual realm, and it's coming down to the physical. Woohoo! So this energy now can come in. This is the underlying energy for the whole reading. So yay! Let's bring it on. There we have the sun. There we have it. And doesn't this almost look like the same horse? You know, grown up now. Maybe this was a point, like a baby horse too, like you were. And now that you're all grown up, you're ready for a mature relationship. And maybe you never thought you would even be interested in that. Like, it's that kind of energy. But this was your destiny, is to have that support from a soulmate. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be marriage, but this is definitely a strong commitment. And this is the happiest card in the deck. This is saying you're on your path. The sunflowers are all like turning with the sun, and so are you. You're following your destined path now. And this part is complete. I really like that, to see that coming in for you, Scorpio. This is really good. So this, you're basically... this is your spiritual needs are going to be met as well as your physical, and that's representing that's when your soulmate can come in. So if you've enjoyed this reading up to this point, please give it a like and comment. For those of you that want further clarity, I'm going to use my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and that is TAILS from the Vector. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and I have a gallery of paintings, and in the gallery the paintings are numbered. The numbers on the cards I'm using reflect the order in the gallery. I started this, and this is kind of interesting. I started this in 2007, and when I was doing research for these eclipses coming up, I was looking like what are some significant things that we can look for. And one of them was that on March 3rd of 2007, there was a very, like almost identical astrological energy at the same time then. And this when that happens, it's a good time to look back what was happening to you. March 3rd, 2007 will give you a really good idea about moving forward now. And so March 3rd, around that time in 2007 is when I began this oracle that I'm going here now. Another date where there was similar energy of these two eclipses like this and coming together was in 1980. So depending, you know, you might have just been born in 1980, or it could be something that happened with your parents, maybe, you know, that kind of energy, or, you know, something significant in the family. In 1980, I had gone to Australia on a backpacking trip, and I stayed for 1.5 years because back then it was really easy to get working visas. Like, you were only allowed to work for a certain amount of time, but there was a lot of backpackers traveling through Australia at that time, and so they made it easy for people to stay. It was such a long flight to get there. But I left on the last day of my visa. I loved Australia. And then the other date is in 1988. And in 1988 is when was my last year as single before I got married. And I had a baby shortly after that in 1990. So it's, you know, this eclipse energy, I was like, whoa, this really is very significant. This one, these two together like this. So just take a look at those dates and see if maybe you can get some clarity like I did. I was like, wow. So if this is coming up now, it's saying that there's something else very significant coming up now like that. I'm all for it. Bring it on. I think it's an awesome energy, as long as you're prepared for it and you are, like not impulsive. You can't be impulsive in this. Like once you're in the energy, that's different. But right now, as we're waiting, we're caught in between these two eclipses, and all this information coming out with the files right now, all the news and all the, like, it's some real ugly shift that we're hearing, and having to deal with it and decide, okay, like the whole world is shifting right now. You know, even today at this time, there's a lot of Canadians in Mexico right now, and Americans also, and they're having like a big blow up there. And so it's like a lot of people that went there on vacation are now like in this like major event in Mexico. And that's the kind of energy, like thinking you're going on a vacation and then getting caught in a situation that you can't, like you have no control over. That's the eclipse energy. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to clarify this, and in the description box below I will put the numbers of the cards as they appear and put them in the order they appear so that you can kind of take a look at those. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. It might give you more clarity. All right, just tuning in as I was talking here, but I just want to see what else can we know about this energy for Scorpio moving forward here. We want some clarity. It's actually pretty clear, this reading. I feel like if it's not love, then it could be something about your work or a situation like that. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune turning. Yeah, so that's what the Chariot is representing. So this is saying that this is destined for you. And when the Wheel of Fortune is turning, it's saying that the energy is moving forward in a stronger way. And we have the Chariot here to confirm that. This is talking about having the courage to be able to face like all this new energy and opening your heart up again to new love and, you know, being in a passionate way again and feeling like, oh, life is good, and trusting that, having that faith in yourself that you have discernment after going through something so challenging. We have the Hermit energy coming in again over here saying, confirming, look at there, it's across from each other here, and it's also here. So it's saying that this is, you need to make sure that you're strong within yourself to be able to attract this energy. You need to make sure that you've learned from any of this energy, any of the mistakes you made, other people have made, and just choose to do better, like for yourself. Learn from it and move on. This is pride. So this is a karmic space, and sometimes this is about self-worth and that. So you might have been someone, like I said, that had parents maybe that walked away or something like that. And you said, I'm not ever going to even get married because I don't ever want to go through that myself or put my children through it, or that kind of energy. And so it's kind of like all or nothing. Either things have to be absolutely perfect or you don't want to be involved. And there comes a certain point where you realize that, you know, hey, life is perfect. Like, we put this money together and we've been working hard. Let's go on a vacation to Mexico. We deserve to lay on the beach for a couple weeks. You get there and the next day, all hell breaks loose there, and you're locked in your, you know, your hotel room, and you're told, like, don't even come outside. There's no food. There's no restaurants open. There's nothing open, because the whole country has gone into chaos, basically. And this is the kind of energy, like, you know, in a situation like that, and all you can do at that point is learn from it, really. And destruction, yeah. And then you wonder, is this progress? Yeah, sometimes we wonder, is this progress? If you put in so much work into something and then you walk away because you're so disappointed, it's such a hard feeling. Like, it's like, oh. But to have the courage, and I was just saying, as I'm saying that, the strength and the integrity and the courage to be able to move forward, right? And decide, okay, am I going to stay in this energy where I can't forgive, and I'm going to be like really bitter, and I'm not going to open my heart up anymore, and I'm going to think that you know, everything sucks kind of energy, or am I going to allow myself to be vulnerable again and move forward? This is worldly and otherworldly desires. So at that point, giving yourself permission to be able to move forward, to go after your authentic desires, and saying, I'm worth it, and I know I need to do the inner work, I'm going to do it. And that's these two cards here, so that these external forces coming at me, I can still respond to them in a very strong way, instead of reacting and then regretting what I said or did after. And this is a blind spot. So the scotoma is, we have those in our actual physical eyes where we can't see certain things, but in actual fact, we can't see about 95% of the light spectrum anyway when we're seeing 20/20 vision. And so, you know, it's kind of recognizing that you're not, like, what you're seeing is not necessarily how things really are. A lot of us have been going, like, I happen to read a lot and look into a lot of different things. And so I'm not shocked at all by the information that's coming out. I'm not shocked at all. I'm saddened by it. But, and on some level also, I have hope that, like, if after 400 years they can arrest someone that is like, you know, a former prince, it's so showing that there's some sort of justice coming in, and there's hope for the world that there is justice coming in, that it's actually being driven by the universe and by God and God's plan, because, like, it's so like that, like, there hasn't been anyone arrested in the monarch for 400 years basically. The sadness is that there was a lot of horrible stuff going on, and the reason why the arrests are happening is because misappropriation of funds. So it always comes down to the money. Like, so that's what that, you know, like, but we'll take it because the justice is coming in, and it's opening justice to other, now it's like, now that the law authorities have the go-ahead to look into things deeper, because now there is something here to look at, then it's going to open up all the other parts, and perhaps there will actually be some really strong change on the planet, and that would be awesome. I feel like, you know, it's hard to hear, but sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but it does set you free once you hear it. At least you know what's really going on. So this is the star, and this is saying we're all meant to shine. Every one of us has our own unique quality that we bring into the planet when we're born. And this is talking about you can remain innocent in your own life, not to be confused with being naive, but just saying, like, I'm not going to get all bitter and hardened. I'm not going to stay in this energy. I'm going to open up to the possibilities and do my part as best as I can to be a good person. And at least I'm doing that. At least I'm one less problem for the universe if I'm stepping up and doing the best I can. It's saying, like, right now, it's really important to use your intuition with your logic. Like, not just your logic, not just your intuition, combining the two to make strong choices. The Hangman, being in this balanced energy, and not, like, the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down so that they can gain perspective, and they don't make a move until their aura is bright with the knowledge that they need to move forward. So it's about being balanced and not accusing and not drawing conclusions when you don't have the whole story, that kind of energy. And it's talking about harmony, and it has 22. When I see this card, I think, okay, this is talking, like, the words you use can be used as weapons, or they can be used to bring peace to the planet. And so in everyday life, we can make those choices for ourselves and how we speak to others, and how, you know, how like, our energy. And so if you want harmony, then create it within yourself first and foremost, and then put that out there. And I feel like there's a lot of people on the planet right now that think it's just hopeless. There's never going to be any justice. And look, justice is coming in. May not be exactly perfect, and it may not be exactly in the form that we thought it would, but it is coming in. And then we have, yes, again, the third eye. Using your insight at this time is really important, so that you can draw upon that, you know, that magic within yourself. Again, it's saying don't just rely on logic, and don't just rely on intuition. Put the two together so that you have, you can really get strong answers. And yeah, there's a lot of abuse of power that we're finding out about right now. And, you know, that's actually been happening in the world for millennia, but now, you know, it's there. And this, on a spiritual level, it's talking about, you know, people that have power. Sometimes they have never had power before, and they're not good at wielding it, you know. So that's why right now is a good time to make plans for the future and put yourself in place and clean up your own house inside your, like, your physical body. your mind. Get yourself in a position that when things break open, that you will be able to really make the moves that are strong for you and your family, and that you can move forward in a strong way. All right, this was a really good, informative reading. Thank you, Scorpio, for your insight here. It's really good advice. And please do give it a like and comment if you've enjoyed this reading. Also, consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. I would be honored if you did so. And I will be back. I'm going to do a reading for the full moon coming up next as a bonus reading, just because there's so much information that it was too much to put all in one reading here like this. All right, bye for now, Scorpio.